Good morning and welcome to Flash Editorials for November 30th, last day of November 2012. I'm Russ Longcore, the owner and editor of dumpdc.com. Flash Editorials is presented by www.dumpdc.com. DumpDC is the world leader in secessionist thought. We teach people and show the world that secession is the only hope for personal liberty and property rights on this planet. Now let's go right to the news. The pickings are pretty slim these days after the Obama win, but we do soldier on. Oh, by the way, I wanted to share with you Merry Christmas and show you my favorite ornament for the tree. Bah, humbug. Okay, let's go to the news. In the nation, two tickets for the $588 million Powerball lottery were sold Wednesday night. One in Missouri and one in Arizona. Now, there's a hidden code on your Powerball ticket. If you have one handy, grab it, and I'll tell you how to read your losing Powerball ticket. You got one? Okay, here it is. First number you see, the first number is the number of car payments you still have to make. The second number is the number of years you'll have to keep working at that job you despise. The third number is the number of major life mistakes that you've made that led to a near impossible lotto win being your only hope for a debt-free existence or a comfy retirement. The fourth number is how many dollars you have in your checking account. The fifth number is how many times you've stood in front of the bathroom mirror rehearsing all the ways you were going to tell your coworkers and your boss to kiss your ass. And the sixth number is the number of times that you will recheck that ticket before accepting that you had not one chance in hell of winning. I stole that off Facebook. In the Nation, Part 2. The only other story really worth mentioning here as far as national news is the death of Zig Ziglar. Zig died Wednesday in Dallas from complications of pneumonia. He was 86 years old. Now, Zig Ziglar was the undisputed leader, the undisputed emperor of all the motivational speakers. Every time he spoke, he filled auditoriums, and his career spanned 5 decades. Zig was, and still is, greatly beloved by those like me who are personal development junkies. His most famous quote is this: "You can get anything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want." Rest well, Mr. Ziglar. You've earned it. In international news, this is big. National news, not so much. International news, this is probably I should have probably led with this story, but I don't do it that way. But check this. A tectonic economic shift occurred in Phnom Penh, Cambodia during the week of November 16th, 20th, and America still does not know about this. The 20th ASEAN Summit of 2012 brought together 13 nations that represent half of the world's population. Our dearly beloved leader Barry showed up at the conference with his bag of tricks and was politely tolerated until he left, as is the Asian way. America has little to offer the world at this point, and Obama's proposals for American participation in Asia were shunned entirely. The world is lining up with China, and the nations of the developing world are looking to China for economic leadership, and that's where they're finding it. China is currently leading the BRICS nation, that BRICS, that acrostic: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, BRICS nations. China is currently leading the BRICS nations in an effort to replace the U.S. dollar as world reserve currency. What they're going to replace it with at this point, we don't know. But they're definitely going to be successful in getting rid of the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency. Remember that China is the world's largest producer of gold and silver, and China does not disclose much of their mining output. China also is not selling gold outside its own borders. So combine those two. Their lead on the world gold production is far greater than anybody but the Chinese actually know. China has been a net seller of U.S. treasuries over the past year, not adding any more bonds to their holdings, but quietly selling them. You know, they used to be the world's largest owner of U.S. Treasuries. I'm not sure that's the case anymore, especially because Japan, curiously, has been the biggest foreign buyer of U.S. bonds recently. It just goes to show you, Japan's economy imploded from too much debt about 20 years ago and has not yet fully recovered. And now they're adding on more American debt instruments? Isn't this the nation that just had a giant earthquake and a devastating tsunami that took out much of their nuclear power generating infrastructure? They had to shut down nearly every one of their nuclear plants on the island of Japan. I don't know what they're doing for power, but oh my gosh. Now, Japan would not be buying all this debt unless they perceived some benefit from it. Don't you wonder what DC has promised the Japanese government? These things have a way of leaking out, though, so stay tuned. Yesterday's Dump DC posting was all about this, so scroll down, and make sure that you read the article that's entitled "The Asian Pivot Already Happened." In business news, this week's Reuters Online has a story about entrepreneurs in something they call lean startup, L-E-A-N, like, you know, fat or lean. You want a lean startup? This term defines a web businessman starting with little or no capital investment. It's a wonderful idea. Another term I've seen is ultralight startup. Google that term and you'll find some things that are interesting about how to start a business. But mostly this is in the tech area. How about where it touches you? You know, you can actually have a lean, ultralight startup if you want a business of your own. But if you've never done an online business, what do? If you ever dreamed of owning a business, the time for starting one could not be better. Your choice of which business to start is far more important than any other consideration. Let me show you our business at www.portableonlinebusiness.com. That's Portable Online Business altogether, portableonlinebusiness.com. And here's tonight's commercial message. Anybody out there read the Tim Ferriss book, The 4-Hour Work Week? Well, the subtitle is Escape 9 to 5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich. Ever heard a sexier title than that? A more irresistible tease? Why would you not want to buy that book and read it? And it's been upgraded and expanded, and you can get it on Kindle now for like $12. Who wouldn't want a 4-hour work week? I mean, seriously, 4-hour work week? But I got something that's a variation on that. Maybe I'm not as good as Tim, or perhaps I have different talents and abilities than he has. But my system works just great. Let me offer to you the joys of 7-hour wealth. At 7-Hour Wealth, our subtitle is How Live Where You Want to Live Where You Want to Live, and Make Money Doing It. We love the DEAL concept, D-E-A-L concept that Tim Ferriss teaches. DEAL is an acrostic for a process of creating time freedom, which is what we're all about. Now, the D means definition. You must define how you want your life to operate before you have it. The E of DEAL is elimination. We teach you how to rid yourself of time-gobbling activities in favor of time spent that's rich in results. The A in DEAL is automation. Begin to outsource the stuff you know best to others, thereby freeing up your time while still maintaining control of the process. Don't outsource something you don't know about, because how are you going to measure it? Only outsource the stuff you know the best. And number 4, the fourth letter in DEAL, D-E-A-L, is liberation. This is about living the success you've defined at the beginning of this process. And this level of success allows for the ultimate luxury, mobility, and the freedom to live by your rules, not someone else's rules. Does that sound tempting to you? Well, click on, just go down here into the article and click on the thing where it says Get 7-Hour Wealth Here. Just click on that. There's a little link there. It'll take you to our website. It'll give you some more details about it. But at least take a look at it. You may or may not want this. You may or may not have any interest in it. But at least be an informed consumer and take a look at 7-Hour Wealth. In the economy, the number of actual initial unemployment claims filed under state programs unadjusted totaled 357,015 in the week ending November 23rd. That's last week. This is a whopping decrease of 46,501 over the last week and is attributable to holiday merchants hiring people. Even part-time, it counts. Curiously, the Labor Department never reports the number of claimants that reached the end of their benefits and fell out of the system. But the story is the number. Another 357,000 people just like you filed new jobless claims last week. Just last week. And corporations across America are going to shed jobs in the final weeks of 2012 in an attempt to show greater profitability at the end of the fourth quarter. They do it every year. And I'll say it again. Think about all those jobs said to have been created by the Obama administration and schmucks like Mitt Romney. First, government does not create jobs either in the public sector or in the private sector. Jobs are created by capital, not by taxation. Capital is investment. Taxation is theft with the implied threat of death. All jobs are not created equal. If you create two jobs that pay $10 an hour in the low-paying service sector to replace one job in the higher-paying engineering area of manufacturing that paid $50 an hour, you can truthfully say that you created more jobs than you lost. But the economic impact is not the same. And the dirty little secret of the politician and job creation is this very thing. Jobs are not created equal. And the only reason that they can get away with this over and over is the American people don't know the difference and don't know the numbers behind the headlines. In sports, a big rivalry in the NFL between the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons got decided Thursday night in Atlanta's favor with a 23-13 win. Now that leaves the Falcons with the best record in the NFL at 11-1, and the Saints are effectively out of any hopes of getting to the playoffs. Playoffs? 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 You remember when Jim Mora did that? It was very funny, and it's iconic now. And in entertainment, got two stories. Number one, the Rolling Stones are beginning their 50th anniversary tour with a show in London Sunday night and then on to 3 gigs in America in the New York area. Can you imagine these old coots, all nearly 70 years old, still playing kick-ass rock and roll? Jagger was born in 1943. Do the math. He's 69. And what Vegas bookie would have even taken a bet on whether Keith Richards would actually be alive in 2012? But here they are doing 4 more concerts, and they'll ring the cash register huge on this. Can you imagine the scalping price of a ticket in New York City for the Stones on their 50th anniversary tour? Oh my gosh. And listen, when they do concerts, they're 2 hours long just with their stuff, and usually they've got about 24 songs they perform. But only 4 concerts, not 40 concerts. You know why? Because they're old wankers. They're ancient tossers. Finally, in entertainment, J.R.R. Tolkien's epic book, The Hobbit, has been lovingly turned into a 3-movie series by Peter Jackson, the producer that brought us the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Hobbit number 1 will be in theaters on December 14th. You must see this film. Well, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Let me look at you and engage you. Thank you for watching. I'm Russell Longcore. For all of us here at Dump DC, good night and good luck. Dump DC. 6 letters that will change history. Copyright 2012, Russell D. Longcore, that's me. Permission to reprint in whole or in part is gladly granted, providing full credit is given. Good night, folks.